Hello everyone, this is going to be a blending, I hesitate to say tutorial because I don't, it's just what I know, okay? So it is what I do, and it's not the end all be all blending whatever. So this, settle in here for a second. If you're not sure how to blend in Photoshop, you will here shortly. So let's do this white. Ugh, hold on. I was playing around with some things. Hold on. So I guess that's a good place to start, really. Up here, you have your opacity. So yeah, we're gonna start with the hard brush, since that's easy, and everybody has one. And if you don't have one, you should have one. So anyway, so we got opacity. Yeah, do I need to get into what that means? I guess, yeah, sure, okay. So if we change this to 15%, it is only 15% opacity of that color. Right now it's white. And so you can see I'm pressing as hard as I can. You probably can't see that, but trust me, I'm pressing as hard as I can. And nothing's going on here. It's just, it's locked in at 15%. Only when I lift the pen up and make another stroke, that's when another 15% is added, and then you get like this stacking effect. So that works the same way with this button, except pen pressure is depicting the opacity, okay, instead of this little manual way of doing it. So just an example, I'm pressing light, so it's probably like at a 50%, maybe 40, and now I'm pressing really hard, and that's probably about 100% right there. And it still kind of does that stacking effect, as you can see how all these aren't blended together. And so the traditional way of actually blending colors together like that with that stacking, I don't know if this is the right way of going about this. Okay, you see what I'm doing here? Okay, I'm doing it really quick because I've done this a lot, and maybe I do it too quick. Maybe I need to slow down and not eye drop as much, but I'm eye dropping, okay? And you eye drop in between each little band, kind of, and then you just lightly press, and then you create that little transition. So you saw I dropped the white, and then I kind of smacked it a little lightly, and that put like an overlay of 30%, whatever the amount that I was pressing right here. And then I'm gonna like, okay, I like that shade, let's create another transition there, and then there, and then there, and then you just, that's kind of like how you blend. And it's still an effective way of blending, and that's probably the primary way that I do it, just because I kind of enjoy that process, I guess. But sometimes it gets tedious, and I don't want to do that all damn day. So we can maybe go to the smudge tool. Right now I got a funky smudge tool. Maybe that's not the right way to go about it. Let's go to hard. And you can try to smudge it, and that looks like, let's actually try here. Maybe it would work. Maybe you could get some good results with it, but you're really not unless you add a little bit of scattering to it. So right here we can click on our little brush settings. If it's not over here, then it'll be in window, brush settings. And what we do is just go to scattering, and then we bump that up just a little bit. Just a little bit, maybe. Maybe it depends on the size of your canvas, but no, we'll do 10%. See what that does. And now when I smudge, you see how it's not like moving everything? Let me duplicate this, and that way we can get like an actual comparison here. Okay, I'm gonna switch over back to the, so this is with the scatter at 10%, and I'm just lightly kind of just going over these. Yeah, so that looks pretty good, actually, I think. You can smudge it even more. Why not? So that's with scattering on, and then I guess it would have been cool if I did this in reverse, because it's like, look how much better it is. Instead, you're getting the results right away. But right now, it's, I don't know, let's show you what's going on here. So if I take my smudge tool across like that, that's the default, okay? Now let's add that scattering back. You see, it adds a little bit more fuzziness to it. It's a little bit easier to work with. And when you got something like this, it yeah, really blends in pretty well. You can work this in a little bit better. You can play with strength up here. It does some things. Okay. Let me get another gradient here so you can see what that does. Alright, smudge tool, hardness, the scattering's up 10%, and it's at 100% hardness. You can take that down to soft if you're having a hard time working with it, but it doesn't matter, I don't think. Just whatever you like. Now strength, let's see what the really hard one does. And this is me pressing down maybe 50%. So still blending pretty well. Let's see what 0 or 1. Yeah, I guess 1 strength. Takes a little bit more time, a little bit more energy to really get going in there. But that might be a good thing for depending on whatever you're doing. Maybe you're blending skin tones and you just want this really soft fade into one. So yeah, that works too. You can see it's a little bit more smudgy, ain't it? This one feels a little bit better. And then obviously you can go into an in-between there, which works out pretty well. So I recommend you guys, if you're new to Photoshop, and maybe if you're not, who knows, try some of these things, okay? Try blending white into black with just eyedropping at first. And you can have, okay, crap. I'm telling you what to do, and I haven't even told you everything. Let's go into flow. It's a little different than opacity. See? Okay. If I see, my pressure sensitivity is kind of weird. I gotta go really low. If I hold lightly, it'll come in a little bit slower, and you can blend that way. So, but it's different than opacity because you can see the more I don't have to lift up my pen in order for it to start stacking, and it doesn't create this weird banding effect either. So a low flow, and maybe even mixed with your pen pressure sensitivity affecting your opacity, can be a really effective way of blending, especially for like softer edges. Now you don't want to paint with a low flow on, because I mean, well, let's just take a look at an example. Like if I wanted to draw a sphere, I mean, you can see how these edges on this around here on the right here, okay, the edge, it's a little soft, right? A low flow kind of creates a softer look than a high flow, so we can create some nice crisp edges here. And let's just shade both of these for fun. This one I will use a low flow, and this one I'll use a high flow of 100%. So So let's do that now. So you can kind of see right there the difference, and painting with the low flow and blending using the eyedropper tool can really take out the extra step of using the smudge tool. But I wouldn't recommend it obviously for everything in your painting, because you can, like I said, you can see how these edges can get a little fuzzy, and yeah, maybe if I took my brush down really small and got in there and held down really hard with the pen, maybe I could get some hard edges. But you don't really want to paint like that because it's kind of annoying, right? And yeah, so I recommend paint with the higher flow, like maybe like in the beginning, or like for most of your painting. But when you're trying to blend something like skin tones and you know, just gradients throughout on surfaces throughout your painting, and just wherever you need a blend, basically use that lower flow can be helpful. Or you could just switch to the smudge tool and kind of get those in there. You can see how it's pretty effective. Oh yeah, the smudge tool isn't the most popular tool because it can easily destroy your textures, and if not used properly, but I think it has its place, and I use it enough. Yeah, I use it enough for me to recommend it. I mean look at that. I mean, that instant soft edge, almost lost edge, I guess. So yeah, it's pretty good. Finding the right balance of this percentage here, maybe like a 5% could work if you're working smaller, or maybe a higher percent. I don't know. You just test it out, I guess. I feel like I'm talking too mechanically, but I guess I just kind of want it to be clear on this for beginners. I need to just relax more. Lay back, you know? Don't be a robot. But yeah. I guess I'm done drawing spheres. They're really not the best spheres in the world, but maybe they show how these tools can be used. All right, yeah. Okay, so I'm actually done now. I think I'll rewatch this, and if I find that it could be helpful, I'll upload it. So yeah. Guys, if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer, I can try to answer it in a video, so just let me know. This YouTube channel is not going to be always about me and painting pretty pictures, which a lot of it will be, but it's also going to be tutorials if anybody has any questions, if that's a thing that people want from me. So yeah, I guess that's it. And yeah, I'll see ya. I don't know how to end this, so bye.